are less than 48 hours out from the big election day. Neither campaign letting up as rallies continue in this very important state. We have team coverage for you. Eric Mock is in Cobb County. That's where Governor Tim Walz and the second gentleman are talking to voters. But we'll start in Macon, where former President Trump and his supporters holding a massive rally. Joy Dukes kicks off our coverage.
Yeah, Eric, good evening to you. The Trump campaign ending a very busy election season here in Georgia, where we know every single vote will be consequential in determining who will become the next president of the United States. Now, we are here live at the Atrium Health Amphitheater in Macon, where former President Trump is expected to address a crowd of hundreds of his supporters over the next few hours. If you take a look around, you can see this amphitheater is completely packed. There is not an available seat in this crowd, and many of these folks saying that they have already cast their votes. Now, we know that more than 4 million people in the state of Georgia have already cast their ballots, shattering state records, but there are still about 3 million folks who have not done so and will be heading to the polls hopefully on Tuesday. So a lot of the messaging here tonight is to those folks to choose Trump when they get to the polls. And we spoke with one woman who explains why she voted for President Trump for a third time.
I voted for Trump all 3 times, and I volunteered as much as I can, do as much as I can from my living room, if you will, to help Trump get elected. I believe he's the answer to America. America's been in trouble for the last 4 years, and I think he's the answer that God is sending to us to save America and to save Israel.
Now, this will likely be one of the last times that former President Trump can speak directly to crowds and certainly Georgia residents to convince them to vote for him on Tuesday. So it's going to be crucial to hear exactly what he has to say to not only this crowd, because many of these people have already voted, but to people who are still undecided. Now, a lot of what his campaign and what his officials are focusing on is certainly just how people felt when he was in office, the money that they had in their pockets, the inflation issue that we're currently seeing and people are dealing with now, and of course the issues that are ongoing at the border, and comparing that to what we saw with the Biden-Harris administration. Unfortunately, the former president is running a little bit late, so we won't be hearing from him probably for the next few hours, but there are several speakers that are lined up kind of taking the stage before he gets here. So far, we've heard from Kelly Loeffler, former state senator here in Georgia, as well as Tyler Harper, the Secretary of Agriculture, and a number of other state leaders and Congress members just kind of hyping the crowd before he gets here. That's the latest we have here live in Macon. Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, Joy, we saw him about 45 minutes ago. He was on stage in North Carolina, so that plane is currently heading here to Macon. Thanks so much. We'll see you tonight.